James and Oliver Phelps. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, really glad to be here, thanks.
Yeah, good, thanks. Really good.
Now, how old were you when you first got the casting call, and how much Harry Potter had you read?
We were 14 when we got the first call, and we'd read the first 3 books. The 4th one had just come out, I remember, a couple of days before we went for the first audition.
So did you realise the scope of what was in front of you?
No. On a word, no. I had no idea. If you'd tell me like 12 years later we'd be in Melbourne, me and hundreds and thousands of people, and I wouldn't have believed you, so it's pretty cool.
Pretty exciting, yeah.
Did you even realise, at least 3 movies? Like, what was the contract put in front of you?
It was we knew they'd always do 2, and then it's going quite well. Maybe 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it was always going to keep going. So I think we determined after the first premiere that it was going to be a big thing because a lot of interest is in it. But yeah, never to the size I think it's got to.
Now, was this your first major acting role?
It's our first acting role, full stop. So yeah, we're going to start, might as well start there, right?
And the premiere. Tell me about being to the premiere of this first movie. What was that like?
The first one was, to us it was like, wow, this is a big premiere, but the last premiere was just insane. They took over, instead of doing it in Leicester Square, they did Trafalgar Square, and they reckon there was into the well over 30,000 people just watching the premiere alone. The longest red carpet in history. It was just insane.
So taking you back to that sort of 14-year-old selves again, and you've read the books, what scene were you looking forward to doing the most?
I think the first book, it was the King's Cross scene when they run through the wall for the first time. 'Cause I remember thinking, how are we going to do that? Like, look at
and the answer is?
Magic. Computer magic, yeah.
Yeah, it was certainly a lot more simple than I thought it would be, yeah.
Did you just run through a gap?
Yeah, yeah. And then
I have heard of people actually trying to run through the wall at King's Cross itself, and they've actually I think they had to put a sign up saying, remember, you are all muggles.
Now, look, there are some really spectacular action sequences in it. What was the most physically demanding thing that you were asked to do on set?
Physically demanding. I think there was one where we did like on the harnesses and everything, the jerkback sequences, and getting thrown high in the air and landing on crash mats, which was all, to be told you're doing that for the day, you're like, yeah, all right, I'll do that. But yeah, I mean, after a couple of takes, that gets a bit tiring, but it was never too bad though.
Did you have to do much training? Do you have to actually be fit for it?
Definitely helped. Definitely helped. I mean, like,
whether you were or not is another thing.
Yeah,
I'd say so. Yeah.
I think it was more like it would benefit you if you were a bit healthier than just sitting in Krispy Kreme donuts all day kind of thing.
Now, when did you figure out that Fred was going to die?
When the 5th book came out, when the 7th book came out, we just finished. We're just about to start shooting the 5th movie, and I was in Japan. And I remember I was on the bullet train in Japan, I was reading it, and the guy came around asking for my ticket, and I literally just read the paragraph when he dies. So I was a bit like, it's really weird. It was like reading like your best mate's died or something. And meanwhile, this ticket inspector's shouting at me in Japanese, telling me to get my ticket out. So that was quite a surreal moment.
How did you feel when you found out that one of you is going to die?
Well, I first read, obviously earlier in the book, you read that George has lost his ear, so I was like, oh, that's not very good. And then I read about Fred dying, I was like, it's not too bad actually. It's not as bad as it could be. Yeah, but again, it was on the same train ride.
Now, Wikipedia, which I inherently don't trust because it always gets things wrong when I'm about to interview somebody famous, it mentions a prank incident that required some refilming to be done, instigated by you two guys. It's very vague. Yeah,
again, I think that's Wikipedia working its magic there, literally. No, we never had to refilm anything after a prank. It was...
but there was a prank.
There was many pranks actually on set, but never what would jeopardise a lot of crew being called back, because there's a lot of crew who work there, and I wouldn't want to be the reason they're working on a Saturday,
So pranks? Can you lay out a couple for us?
There are a couple. I guess the ones, in case kids are listening, it was well, the first
family clean. The
first rule we always had was only do a prank if you would be willing for it to happen to you, kind of thing. So it's like
fair rule, yep.
Yeah, fair rule. It's your fair game. But I mean, there was one where I remember a cast fell asleep in front of a TV screen, and we just happened to be playing Call of Duty on the Xbox. So we turned up to 100%, got out the machine gun and started firing, and he literally woke up like as if he thought he was in a war zone. But we all started shouting. I'm like, get out, get out, get out. So that was pretty fun to do.
Now, so were you typecast in the film? Did somebody see that mischievousness in the two of you?
I think it was more a case being told when you're 14, yeah, just mess about. which is all right. Yeah, I can do that. And then we try and get it. And then obviously it's like, oh no, we're method actors. That's all it is. And then yeah, I think we were probably the most immature by the end of it.
You definitely were.
Now, tell me about because it is a real ensemble sort of cast, and you've all come through and grown up together. Are you all still in touch, or have you found that there's a couple of people that you are naturally drawn to and the rest you only see at red carpet events?
We still keep in contact with, like I say, 99% of, quite a lot of people who are in the cast. We actually played golf with Tom Felton the other week. We saw him get a hole in one, which is pretty cool.
I've been playing that game for 10 years, never got one, and he's just like pops up and does it.
Yeah, and we're meeting up with Rupert next month. So yeah, we're still very much in contact with everybody.
Now, are you relieved not to be redheads anymore?
For my hair, I am. Yeah, it got like every 3 weeks we'd be getting the roots touched up and the eyebrows bleached and everything like that. But yeah, it's certainly easier to for me anyway to not do it. But I mean, I didn't have a problem being a redhead.
What's next? Oh, now I understand one of you is planning on being a professional golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, keep dreaming.
No, it's one of those things. I'm a very avid golfer, but I don't think that'll ever happen. But it was definitely a pipe dream. But no, we're keeping in with the acting. We're actually in America at the moment, working on some stuff out there, and then heading back to the UK at the beginning of the summer back there. And yeah, plodding along anyway, coming up with new ideas.
Is it going to be the twin thing for you forever, or are you going to be able to separate and be your separate selves?
Yeah, I've actually done a couple of things on my own without Oliver, and Oliver's down to do a job without me. So I think we're going to be like keep splitting up and coming back together. Like I don't know.
Well, we thought about never doing the twin thing again. We thought, right, that's it, 10 years of doing that and not doing that. But one of the guys from the cast actually said to us, oh no, if you can use that as your, that's a unique thing, you want to use that. So that's a good idea. Though.
Well, look, if Mark Shepherd and Morgan Shepherd, father and son, can continually use father and son,
yeah.
I'm sure it makes use for you guys as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Look, naturally, I hope both of you go on to much bigger, better things with your lives, but if you don't, if you end up, having a nice career, but Harry Potter ends up being your highlight, that you're forever defined by a decision you made at 14.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think to the teachers at school who said, oh, I shouldn't go for the audition, you want to concentrate on your work.
But you should always stay in school. But I guess that, it's one of a thing in the career, and it's going to be very hard to top something as big as Potter, but yeah, we'll try and find something.
James and Oliver Phelps, thank you so much for being on Nerdzilla.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Cheers.